Reincarnation means a fresh start, but these 10 overpowered protagonists brought broken abilities along to absolutely dominate their new magical worlds without breaking a sweat. Kicking off our list at number 10, the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. Betrayed by his former employers, our world's deadliest hitman accepts a goddess's offer to reincarnate into a magical lineage of noble assassins. Tasked with preventing the prophesied hero from destroying the realm, Lug Tuatha'Dai combines modern tactical knowledge with lethal magic to forge himself into the ultimate shadow operative. This series brilliantly subverts standard power fantasies by making preparation and strategy feel entirely thrilling. Silver Link delivers crisp animation during combat scenes while building an unexpectedly compelling romance. Watching Lug methodically dismantle arrogant enemies using sniper rifles constructed entirely out of fantasy magic never loses its immense entertainment value. Stepping into the 9th spot, the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world. After being murdered by fearful allies, Master Exorcist Haruyoshi uses a secret technique to cast his soul into a fantasy universe. Reborn, lacking local magical aptitude, he instead relies entirely upon his original Japanese spiritual arts and demonic familiars to effortlessly overpower wizards who severely underestimate his seemingly non-magical status. What hooks you here is the incredible culture clash between Eastern mysticism and Western sorcery. Haruyoshi operates with a cold, calculated ruthlessness rarely seen in typical protagonists. The absolute disrespect he shows cocky mages while summoning terrifying ancient spirits creates immensely satisfying moments that elevate this beyond generic genre trappings. Claiming power at number 8, Am I Actually the Strongest? Reincarnated with an impossibly high power level that breaks the divine measurement device, newborn baby Haruto is abandoned by royal parents who mistake him for being weak. Raised by nobles, he secretly creates a massive shadow organization and builds advanced communication networks while pretending to remain a lazy recluse forever. This anime leans heavily into absurd comedy and totally nails the execution. Watching a desperately antisocial protagonist utilize godlike barriers simply to achieve absolute domestic peace is hilarious. The contrast between his unbothered attitude and the terrified reactions of his enemies keeps the pacing incredibly lighthearted and consistently highly engaging. Slashing into our 7th spot, Reborn to Master the Blade, from Hero King to Extraordinary Squire. After dedicating his life to establishing a peaceful kingdom, the legendary monarch Inglis dies and requests reincarnation to focus solely upon martial mastery. Reborn centuries later, as a beautiful noble girl, Inglis embraces her new life, eagerly seeking out powerful opponents to test her boundless strength and divine combat abilities. Gender-bending tropes often feel forced, but this series turns the concept into pure action fuel. Inglis genuinely only cares about fighting, making her single-minded dedication wonderfully refreshing. The fluid animation during sword fights perfectly highlights her absolute dominance against terrifying monsters who never stood a single chance anyway. Descending to number 6, the aristocrat's otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far. Sacrificing himself to save a stranger, teenager Kazuya is transported to a magical world as Cain von Silford. During his baptism, 7 enthusiastic gods accidentally bless him with hilariously catastrophic levels of magical aptitude. He must navigate royal academies, arranged marriages, and dungeon explorations without exposing his completely absurd power. This show is pure, unadulterated comfort food for fans craving overwhelming power disparities. Cain simply cannot stop breaking the universe by accident. The sheer visual spectacle of him casually summoning legendary beasts while his instructors lose their absolute minds delivers a brilliantly chaotic energy that keeps you watching every week. Breaking into our top 5 at number 5, Seirei Gensoki, Spirit Chronicles. A tragic bus accident claims Haruto, whose memories suddenly awaken inside a destitute orphaned boy named Ryo. Merging his former Japanese identity with his harsh magical reality, Ryo utilizes newly discovered spirit arts to rescue a kidnapped princess, propelling him into an elite academy where political intrigue and discrimination await. The dual identity aspect completely elevates this narrative beyond standard tropes. Watching Ryo struggle with conflicting internal memories adds phenomenal emotional depth to his journey. The escalating battles display gorgeous spell effects, but the quiet moments of deep character introspection truly make this underdog story captivating from start to finish. Casting a massive spell at number 4, Wise Man's Grandchild. A depressed salaryman is reincarnated into a fantastical dimension and adopted by the legendary hero Merlin. Raised in complete isolation, Shin learns reality-bending magic, but completely lacks fundamental common sense. Entering a magical high school, his staggeringly devastating power levels completely upend the traditional curriculum and political landscape immediately. This remains a definitive classic for overpowering fantasy goodness. Instead of hiding his ridiculous abilities, Shin proudly showcases them while accidentally terrifying his peers. The satisfying dynamic of him turning ordinary classmates into elite magical powerhouses makes this series an endlessly rewatchable journey packed with fantastic action and wonderful humor. Mixing up the formula at number 3, Parallel World Pharmacy. Following his untimely death from extreme overwork, a brilliant medical researcher awakens in medieval Europe as Pharma de Medicis. Gifted with divine creation magic and absolute knowledge of modern medicine, he establishes an affordable pharmacy to cure incurable diseases while battling corrupt aristocratic guilds who hoard treatments from poor citizens. Watching raw intellect become an unstoppable superpower is phenomenal. Pharma uses literal chemistry to dominate ignorant fantasy doctors. The animation beautifully visualizes molecular structures during his incantations, creating a visually distinct aesthetic. It blends heartwarming medical dramas with intense magical showdowns to deliver something extraordinarily unique in a crowded genre. Taking the penultimate spot at number 2, My Isekai Life, I gained a second character class and became the strongest sage in the world. Dragged away from his computer into a medieval realm, Corporate Drone, Yuji inadvertently tames dozens of slimes while absorbing vast magical texts. Without realizing his own staggering potential, he accidentally unlocks the legendary Sage class, effortlessly obliterating apocalyptic dragons and massive armies while genuinely believing himself completely weak and ordinary. The sheer deadpan delivery Yuji brings to Earth shattering encounters never gets old. The studio gives the slimes such adorable personalities that they practically steal the show. His complete ignorance of basic fantasy logic creates a remarkably entertaining loop of massive destructive power, followed by immense hilarious social confusion daily. And finally, reigning supreme at number 1, Chronicles of an Aristocrat Reborn in Another World. Dying while defending young girls, Kazuya is reborn as Cain, a noble child endowed with literal godly stats from the divine pantheon. As he grows, his unfathomable magical capacity forces him to conceal his true strength while secretly protecting the kingdom from ancient evils and managing multiple demanding aristocratic fiancés. This perfectly embodies everything fans deeply love about the overpowered protagonist trope. It expertly balances high-stakes fantasy action with genuinely brilliant slice-of-life comedy. Watching Cain desperately try minimizing his cosmic abilities while the entire kingdom treats him like an absolute deity cements its well-deserved top placement. These 10 powerhouses prove that starting over is always much easier when you possess universe-shattering magical abilities. Did your ultimate favorite overpowered protagonist make this ranking today? Drop your definitive list down in the comments below. Hit subscribe and keep watching truly fantastic anime forever.